Hi guys, this is Dan here to welcome if you're new here. October is nearly there, meaning that we're slowly approaching the spooky season. Long nights, eerie fights, and the perfect excuse to tackle some chunky fantasy books. So this month's TBR is going to pack with sequels, subscription packs, and a few books that could get quite dark. So let's dive in before the shadow catches me. If you enjoy my content and want to keep this channel growing, feel free to consider joining my Patreon. Even a small pledge goes in a long way in keeping this video coming. I'll leave the link of my Patreon down in the comment if you're interested in it. Maybe we can go through my TBR in terms of how urgent I need to finish them. The first one I have here is Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse, the first book of Between Sky and Breath series. And as you can tell, this is the addition from the Broken Binding Fantasy sub. If I'm being completely honest here, I don't really think I have heard about this book that much. Then I look up on Goodreads and I think this book is inspired by the pre-Columbian culture of the Americans. This series blends magic, prophecy, politics, and destiny in a world on the brink of upheaval. And I think the center of the plot is the holy city of Topher. When the sun, moon, earth align, it is a moment of great power and transformation. This process is also known as the convergence. Here we will follow three main players. The first one is a boy called Serapio, who is believed to be the vessel of the god in this very important event. He will travel to this holy city and accompanied by a sea captain called Sala. Lastly, a priest called Narampa, who want to maintain this political division with a conspiracy took place in this convergence. Looking at this, I think this book is going to be quite heavy with all this politics and prophecy. Maybe with a touch of that pre-Columbian American culture, which, to be honest, I don't really know too much of. So at this stage, I can't really call whether I enjoyed this book or not. But a very important point here is I am actually quite far behind with all these subscription books from the Broken Binding, so I need to work hard on this series. After a subscription book, I also have books from this year's reading plan. At this point, you will be quite familiar with them. First of all, I have Last of the Dragorn by Philip C. Quaintrell, the 8th book of the Echoes saga. We are so close to finish this epic fantasy series, and I am only missing 2 books. By the time of filming, I am actually reading the 7th book, so I don't really want to dip too much into the synopsis of this one to avoid any possible spoilers, just in case you guys are also interested in it. All you need to know here is I am more or less 7.5 books into this series, and every book has been so good. This 9-book long series can actually be broken down into 3 separate trilogies, and each one of them got its own focus. And this series is about the good old conflict between light and shadow. We will follow majority of the characters from the beginning to finish. But what I love the most about this series is its intricate world building and fantastic character arc. Throughout this series, you could expect adventures, big conflicts, big battles, conspiracy, magic, dragon, elf, dwarves. Basically, what you need in an epic fantasy series, you can find it all in here. I would even say it is like a more accessible, toned-down version of the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. Toned down because the scale of the world building is much smaller, more accessible in terms of the modern fantasy writing style. If you don't trust me, you can look up on Goodreads. Every book in this series got at least 4 stars, and I think it's big for itself. It just shows you how consistent and impressive the work is. If you are into epic fantasy but you don't want to invest that much time like in the Wheel of Time, I would highly recommend the Echo Saga, and I can't wait to get into this. Okay, the next one on my reading plan is Towers of Midnight by Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson, the 13th book of the Wheel of Time series. The wheel weaves as the wheel wills. I should have finished this book back in September, but I was just too busy with the magical readathon, and I don't think any prompts for Tom Binder can fit this book in, so there's a little bit of delay here. I think at this stage, you're quite tired of me to repeat the synopsis of The Wheel of Time, but to quickly summarize what this series is about, it is like the very classic sort of battle between light and evil, and the center of it is the Dragon Reborn. In a way, you can say this conflict is like the main focus of this series. But at the same time, we got such a rich world building. Let's say the politics, the magic system, and different races and cultures. So this is not simply about Rand, the Dragon Reborn, defeating the Forsaken, but also there are so many other elements for you to enjoy. Wheel of Time, I would definitely say it is a bumpy road, not like the Echo Saga where everything just goes really smoothly. But things are definitely getting better since the last book, The Gathering Storm. We got a sense the end is finally coming and most of the characters' arcs are being wrapped up for the final confrontation. I have actually started this book back in August because I know that my September TBR are gonna be crazy. And I still got some time left in August, so I pick up this book. It is still enjoyable, but slightly disorienting because Brandon Sanderson don't want to do like a recap of the last book. So his approach is to repeat certain events that has already taken place in The Gathering Storm and to align this timeline seamlessly together so you would know basically what had happened as a whole. I'm not gonna lie here, when I read the first 20%, I was like, haven't I read this part before? Why are we going back in time? Am I picking up the right book? Or is it like any sort of like printing errors? I even tried looking up the chapter summaries just in case I did mess up here. So it just shows you how confusing this book could be. I hope that when I start digging this book up more, when things starting to come together finally, this issue will be improved. Now, it is the time for a seasonal read. I chose this book because this one screams spooky. I want to start reading some works by this author, and I also have heard some really positive reviews about this series, and you know what? The final book of this trilogy gonna come out very soon, so I think it is the perfect time to start this series, and I am talking about Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff, the first book of the series with the same title. Funny story here, I tried the paperback of this book in Waterstone some time ago. Gosh, those words were tiny on every single page and this book was thick. So I assumed this book would really take some time for me to finish. This one without a doubt is going to be a grim dark fantasy, a mix of epic fantasy, gothic horror, and coming of age tragedy. It is a bit different with the use of framed narrative. Basically, it is a story within a story. It is a story about Gabriel, a holy warrior who was sworn to defeat the vampire, but now he is imprisoned by them. So now Gabriel would tell us, the readers, what had actually happened in the past. All those battles, all those betrayals, and the fall of humanity against the vampires. And the moment of defeat is known as Day's death. What we can expect is literally everything from Gabriel's life. Let's say the sacred quest, forbidden love, moral compromises, and bloody battles. It is definitely a seasonal read, spooky horrors about vampires. I have the first two books on my shelves already, and maybe I have also pre-ordered the last book from the Godspread. So I really hope that I will enjoy this series, not like the Sun Eater by Christopher Rocio, and I would definitely do a reading vlog about this spooky book. It will be perfect for the season. Stay tuned to it. So here it comes to the last book, and if you know me well enough, you will know that I normally will only pick 4 books because that is my limit. So in October, when the day is shorter and I spend more time in the house, hopefully if I push myself hard enough, I can get into this one because it is a new release from a series that I enjoy. And I am talking about The Art of Legends by Wesley Chu, the 3rd book of the War Arts Saga. That's a bloody hard long intro. I will be quite brief here because I have already mentioned this book in my August TBR. Yes, I didn't plan it well and I haven't got a chance to get into this one yet. 2 months already. It is a witty, action-packed wuxia-inspired fantasy. It is a story about Jian, a supposedly chosen one that one day gonna defeat the Eternal Khan. But one day, very unexpectedly, this great enemy was dead. So it seems that there's no use with Jian anymore. Very luckily, a great martial artist called Tai Shi want to train him to be a true warrior. With rumors of this great enemy's returning and wars looming, Jian must face the possibility that his destiny may not be over yet. But this pair of master students is not the only characters we're gonna follow. We also have a great warrior called Sally who want to change her fate, and Tisami and her bounty hunter group is always so much fun. This series actually reminds me of a slightly more mature version of Dragon Ball. I guess it is because of the vibe. We got like a young warrior in training and all those fun quirky enemies along the way. We also got like a great danger coming for this chosen one, but at the same time, you would feel for connect to this group of characters. So honestly, I can't wait to get back into this world. So that's everything I've lined up for October. Honestly, it feels really ambitious and they are quite heavy, but I'm quite excited to see how much I can really tackle. You can also share your October's TBR down in the comment. Would you pick up any seasonal spooky read like me? Thank you for watching, guys. If you don't want to miss out any fantasy TBR, wrap-up, reading vlog, or any other fun idea, make sure you have subscribed to my channel and like this video. I'll see you all real soon. Goodbye.